What's up guys, Josh Mosiman here and welcome to another motocross action video. This week we are testing some very exciting stuff. We have Freddie Noren's 450 Supercross bike, KTM 450 SXF, and we have his play bike. He has a 2020 KTM 250 two-stroke that he bought from Chad Reed. The bike is pretty much stock. It's got a pipe on it, it's got some triple clamps on it, it's got his graphics on it, and that's basically it. Stock suspension, stock engine. But this is Freddie Noren's play bike. It's the bike he's used to go win some money on at some of the local races and really have fun riding motorcycles again and kind of bring some of that excitement back to two-wheel racing and riding. So I'm excited to compare his Supercross bike. It's a 450 four-stroke with Supercross suspension up against a 252 stroke with stock suspension. Freddie and I are gonna have some back-to-back battles here at Club MX. Let's get into it. All right guys, so we are in South Carolina at the Club MX training facility. We wanted to test Freddie Noren's race bike, but he also had this trick up his sleeve. He had Chad Reed's old 252 stroke that he recently bought to go do some money races on. And we said, hey, which one should we do? People love two strokes, but we also want to ride your race bike because we want to see what that's all about. We decided, hey, let's put them together, do a little versus video, back and forth racing and riding Freddie Noren's race bike versus his 252 stroke. It was a lot of fun. His race bike has a lot of goodies on it, but probably a little bit less than you would expect. He has only a few performance parts that he's added to the KTM 450 to make it a little bit better and ready for him to race Supercross, but a lot of it you might be surprised to know that it's actually pretty stock. As far as the 252 stroke goes, that thing is basically bone stock. It's got a Pro Circuit pipe and silencer, it's got X-Trig triple clamps, it's got some cool stickers on it, Works Connection whole shot device, and the rest of it, suspension and all, it's all stock. So running through a list of the parts that Freddie Noren runs on his KTM 450, this is actually the same bike that he raced the Nationals on. He started the 2021 season on a Cowie 450, raced Supercross on a Cowie, then switched to KTM right before the outdoor season, so he didn't have a lot of time on it. And I know talking to him, he's a good buddy of mine, he had to do a lot of testing to get comfortable on the 450 for outdoors, but he's feeling a lot better on it now. He says he's made a few changes for the Supercross season. So today, starting with the suspension, Freddie's running the WP Exact Pro components. So he's got the cone valve forks with the track shock in the rear, and this year he's got power band suspension doing up the WP components, and so far he likes it and I really liked it as well. The suspension was stiff, set up for Supercross, but not as stiff as some of the other Supercross bikes that I've been riding recently, so plush and pretty fun to ride on the amateur Supercross track that we were riding on today. Diving into his engine, he has a Twisted Development engine with Vortex ECU. Twisted Development is known for building smooth, broad power bands. KTM is known for having a smooth, broad power band just out of the box, and Twisted built up on that and continued to build off of the same KTM platform that we really like. MXA loves the smooth power that the KTM 450 has, and a lot of the other brands now, specifically Honda, going towards that with a smoother power band. So super fun to ride Freddie's bike. He's got the Akprovic header and muffler. He's also got the Hinson clutch cover, but inside the internals are actually pretty stock. I believe he ran Hinson maybe clutch plates and fibers, but otherwise the same stock clutch basket. And as far as the triple clamps clamps goes, he ran the X-Trig Rock triple clamps, and also he ran an AEO link arm on the linkage. So that actually brought the rear end of the bike lower. So one of the first things I felt when I was on the track, rear end was sagging a little bit lower. And also running the Guts seat cover and the lightweight Guts seat foam, Works Connection hole shot device, and Works Connection axle blocks. And besides that, he's got the Faster USA wheels, P3 carbon skid plate. He runs ETS fuel. He runs armored graphics, Pro Taper handlebars and grips. But otherwise, this bike is pretty much stock. So we had a lot of fun going back and forth on it. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the 252 stroke he did buy from Chad Reed, and Freddie said, I think he said he won about $6,000 this off season just going and doing some local money races where he can race the 252 stroke in both the 250 and 450 classes and get money out of each class by winning and running up front in the local pro races, money races here in near the North Carolina area. So Freddie's had a lot of fun on the two-stroke, and I talked to him. He said the two-stroke kind of brought fun back into racing for him, and that's what we did today. We had some more fun going back to back. We were riding the Amateur Supercross today at Club MX, and the track is definitely toned down, but it's got the Supercross style berms. It's got some mellow whoops, but they were super fun to go through. It's got some fun rhythm sections that we could do some triples in, a step on, step off. Freddie and I had a blast going back and forth on the two bikes. Overall, KTM 450 race bike for Supercross versus a 252 stroke with bone stock suspension. Obviously, we both felt more comfortable on his 450 Supercross race bike, but that is not to discount his 252 stroke. As I mentioned, Freddie Noren has been taking this bike and making good money on it at local pro money-paying races with bone stock suspension. And to boot, he's running the 2020 WP Exact forks, which are not as good as the 2021 and 2022 forks. So very impressive that Freddie can hop on a bone stock KTM 252 stroke, throw a pipe on it, seat cover. He did throw those triple clamps on there and throw his handlebars on there and go out and have a lot of fun on it. So that was really cool to see. And Freddie and I had a blast going back and forth today, dicing it up on the Amateur Supercross track and having a good time. As far as his KTM 450 goes, that thing pulls to the moon. It just keeps on going, and it was really cool to ride with him. Freddie likes his levers a lot higher than I do. That lowering link arm on the linkage definitely brings the rear end down a little bit lower than I prefer, but Freddie said he likes it lower. He's even liked it lower when he rode for Factory Honda, when he did some testing for them, fill-in rides for them. When he was at JGR Suzuki, he liked it lower. So Freddie overall, he likes his bikes a little bit lower, and now he's jumped to the KTM. This is really his first time running the steel frame on a KTM, and overall, I had a lot of fun on his bike today. There's really two storylines coming out of this versus video that are really fun to talk about. One, Freddie Noren is riding a KTM 450 that is completely able to be bought by the public. Anybody can take their engine to Twisted Development and make it and get the Freddie spec. Anybody can go to Power Band suspension and get the same suspension settings that Freddie's using. All the parts that he uses on his bike are able to be bought at the dealership or online. So Freddie Noren is racing Supercross on a bike that is not unobtainable, and he's going fast on it, and he's doing well. Then the other storyline, the 252 stroke. Freddie specifically bought this after the 2021 Outdoor National season. He wanted a bike to have fun on, and this bike, he said to us, really brought the fun back into riding two strokes, the fun back to riding motorcycles again. Why? As you can probably understand, Supercross and motocross racers are full-time training, full-time riding in the gym, eat, sleep, and breathe motocross and Supercross. It could get to be where it's more of a job rather than fun. And hopping on a two-stroke for Freddie Noren was something that brought the fun back into racing. And I'm excited to see how he does in the 2022 Supercross season with more time under his belt on the KTM 450 and having a new fun attitude heading into the new year. So I hope hope you guys enjoyed this versus video, 252 stroke versus 454 stroke. It was a lot of fun. If you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification button so you can get an update every time we release a new video. Also, be sure to check out motocrossactionmag.com, our website, for all of our news, reviews, race results. Also, click the links now to see some of our recent videos.